Let's rock.
Everyone knew Married with Children was on when you heard the intro to Love and Marriage performed by the legendary Frank Sinatra.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Man, the show was hysterical, with the simple premise of letting this ruthlessly honest family just exist and knock each other down a peg or two or three each week. Just thinking of Al's facial expressions today makes me laugh. And while it has since become one of the most popular shows of the 90s, it wasn't always this way, because Fox was just starting up and didn't have the affiliate base of the big three to reach the entire country. However, after completing its 6th season, the show reached peak popularity with a number 29 Nielsen rating, in comparison to 142 for season 1. And 11 seasons later, we still love the Bundys and their crazy, politically incorrect adventures. Welcome everyone, I'm your shoe salesman, Nostalgic Nick, and today we're heading back to the suburbs of Chicago to see what the Bundys are up to today. If you enjoy reminiscing with us, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Alright, let's boogie. Edd ONeill. O mighty one in the skies, who created the mountains, the sea, and beer. Could they have created a funnier lead pop than Al Bundy? He sells women's shoes, and not even the pretty ones. But as Al fondly remembers his high school glory days, Edd ONeill beautifully grounds his sitcom. But he doesn't steal scenes, rather is a perfect complement to his talented familial castmates. Edd ONeill would even fulfill fan requests and make special occasion phone calls as Al Bundy, on the condition that he could call them collect. In congruence with Al's cheapskate nature, Edd ONeill was also a star football player, getting signed after college to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's no big deal. I mean, it's not like it's going to be the highlight of my life or anything.
But he was cut in training camp, unfortunately having to compete with fellow rookie defensive lineman Mean Joe Green. Hopefully Green tossed Ed his jersey on his way out too. ONeill's breakout role was in 1980 as a police detective in Al Pacino's Cruising. In the early 90s, he had great success with some family-friendly flicks, like 1991's Dutch, and then the Pee-wee football comedy Little Giants in 94, where he's the rival coach against Rick Moranis. In 2009, he once again joined the Television Hall of Fame with a new character, Jay Pritchett, in the long-running, happier family sitcom Modern Family. Today, Ed is 75 years old and has 2 daughters with his actress wife, Catherine Russoff. Katey Sagal. Peggy is Al's wife, with her own quirks and personality. She gives Al some appropriate nags, getting on him about his job, hygiene, and even his poor sexual abilities.
But let's not get into it. Which, you know, you also had trouble with.
Okay.
And she does it with style, too, of which she actually created. Seagal made the choice that Peggy Bundy would dress in 60s-inspired clothing to parody the typical housewife image. For her audition, she brought her own red bouffant wig, and when she won the role, producers approved this image for the show. Incredible. The television Goliath Norman Lear just happens to be her godfather, as he actually introduced her parents. Seagal's career began in 1973 when she worked as a backing vocalist for various singers including Bob Dylan and Tanya Tucker. She was then a member of Bette Midler's backup group The Harlots, and she's even released 3 of her own albums. Most recently in 2013, her breakout acting role was a newspaper columnist in the series Mary, starring Mary Tyler Moore. In 1998, Simpsons creator Matt Groening chose her to be the spaceship Captain Leela in his new cartoon comedy Futurama. Then she teamed up with John Ritter for the sitcom 8 Simple Rules in the early 2000s. And in 2008, she once again obtained a starring TV role on FX's Sons of Anarchy. A little nepotism here, as she married the show's creator, Kurt Sutter, back in 2004. But no one's complaining, she owned that role. Most recently, Seagal replaced Roseanne as Dan Connor's new love interest. Today, Katey is 67 years old, and right on cue, she is filming another starring role in the show Rebel, from the creators of Grey's Anatomy, and we can't wait. Amanda Bearse. Marcy Rhodes is the Bundys' next-door neighbor, who definitely has it out for Al, even though she's Peggy's best friend. And I loved seeing her go at Al.
Go pick your hiney. Women are talking.
She often protested Al's National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood group, with her own group, Feminists Against Neanderthal Guys. Just wonderful. In addition to playing Marcy, Bearse also directed a whopping 31 episodes, highlighted by season 11's The Stepford Peg. Bearse broke onto our radar with a starring role in 1985's cult classic Fright Night. And she hadn't acted since 2013, but she did return to the cinema for Sky Sharks in 2020. Today, Bearse is in her early 60s, and she married her partner Carrie in 2010. Edd ONeill and David Faustino were the only cast members not invited to her wedding, because Bearse was afraid they would laugh at the sight of two women in tuxedos, which during a 2013 interview, ONeill admitted he would. You can't take the Al out of the Bundy. David Faustino. Bud is great as the creepy little bro from hell, whom Kelly just loves to beat up on, because he's a loser brother who has zero luck with the ladies and is quite awkward. Faustino's younger brother Michael actually made guest appearances on Married with Children, including a season 11 episode that David co-wrote. Faustino began acting in 1980 with an episode of Little House on the Prairie. Much of Faustino's post-Bundy jobs have been either guest starring as Bud Bundy or as David Faustino. He hasn't had a great live-action gig, but pivoted well, becoming quite successful with voice acting, most recently as a villain in 28 episodes of the How to Train Your Dragon spin-off series Dragons Race to the Edge. Did you know Faustino was also in the rap game, under the name D-Lil?
So you wick-wack, knick-knack, tic-tacs, get back. I got the funky style and you know you can't get with that.
His single called I Told Ya got some airplay in 1992, and in 2008 he co-wrote an electronica album titled Hollow Dreams. In November 2015, his girlfriend Lindsey Bronson gave birth to their daughter, and Faustino, who is currently 47 years old, is also working on a new cartoon called Hollywood. Ted McGinley. Jefferson marries Marcy for financial purposes, as he's young, unemployed, and lazy. But at least Marcy gets herself a young boy toy, and Jefferson gives Al a nice buddy next door. Ted McGinley got started with a bang in 1980, as Roger Phillips, the nephew of the Cunninghams, on Happy Days for the final few seasons. And then he joined the hit primetime soap Dynasty as Clay Falmont. And we actually have great cast rewinds for both of those shows as well, so check those out next. And you'll certainly remember Ted as the quintessential jock in 1984's Revenge of the Nerds. He played the part so perfectly because, well, he kinda was that guy. While in college at the University of Southern California, McGinley was captain and two-time MVP of his water polo team. Ted married actress Gigi Rice in 1991, and the pair have 2 sons. Today he's in his early 60s and still very active in the biz, also voice acting like Faustino, as Ted is in 54 episodes of Transformers: Robots in Disguise.
I've already rescheduled twice, and they don't call him Crackpot Carl for nothing.
Christina Applegate. Kelly Bundy is the stereotypical ditzy blonde, into fashion and pushing her father's buttons. But Al deserves it and serves it right back.
Sweetheart, is there someone there I can talk to with a brain stem?
The back and forth between these two is possibly the best in the show, and Applegate was stellar, and not bad to look at either, certainly becoming one of the biggest attractions to this sitcom. Christina Applegate was born into show business, and she accompanied her actress mother Nancy Pretty on Days of Our Lives before she could even walk. Nancy even joined Married with Children for an episode in season 4. At just 12 years old, Christina played young Grace Kelly in the television biopic. In 1991, she had her biggest film role to date, taking care of her younger siblings in Don't Tell Mom, the Babysitter's Dead. Then in the early 2000s, her titular role in the series Jessie concluded after just 2 seasons, and she went back to the big screen, co-starring with Cameron Diaz in The Sweetest Thing, and then becoming Veronica Corningstone in the great comedy Anchorman. She and Will Ferrell were fantastic together. She's currently starring in a solid series on Netflix called Dead to Me, so if you're looking for something new to watch, give that one a go for sure. In 2008, Applegate was diagnosed with an early stage of breast cancer, and chose to undergo a double mastectomy as her mother is also a breast cancer survivor, and Applegate suffers from a genetic trait which easily triggers the cancer. Surely a tough time for her. forever. But we're so glad that today she is 49 years old and currently cancer-free, while still delivering some wonderful projects for us all to enjoy. And there you have this family from hell. But man, was it funny to watch them burn together. Do you remember a specific episode that you really enjoyed? Mine may be High IQ, where Al buys a new Handyman's Workbench 5000 and he and Jefferson struggle hard to put it together. Have you followed any of these actors' careers past this show? Well, pop in the comments and let us know. We want to hear from you. If you enjoyed revisiting the Bundy household with us, please give our video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for even more. From all of us here at Do You Remember, thanks very much for watching.